Hi guys, I'm Mario Frado and this is Making the Case. So a lot of people want to know what's going on right now with the election. The media has declared Joe Biden the winner and declared him the president-elect of the United States right now, but I think there's still a long way to go. Now there have been widespread allegations of voter fraud. A lot of stuff looks fishy to me as well. I heard about something called Hammer and Scorecard. If you guys haven't heard about that, I suggest doing a YouTube search of that and listening. It's basically saying that there's a lot of voting machines in the country that are very similar, and they could change 3% of the votes that were given to Donald Trump over to Joe Biden. If that were true, that would explain the discrepancies in a lot of these states. But again, I don't know, and that will have to come out in court. It's not just the voter fraud that makes me suspicious, but it's the results themselves. I looked at a county like Zapata County in Texas, and that's the most Hispanic county in the country. For the last 100 years, basically, since 1924, it's voted for a Democrat. Trump even lost there himself 70-30 to Hillary Clinton. Obama won there over Romney 70-30. This time around, Donald Trump won there 55-45, I believe. So that was a huge win. That makes me wonder how he would lose states like Arizona or Nevada with a high Hispanic population, but he could win the most Hispanic county in the country. Also, if you saw my last video, my final prediction was that Donald Trump would win Florida by 3 points, and with Florida, he would gain Michigan and Pennsylvania. Now, he did end up winning Florida by 3 points, although it looks like right now they're saying he lost Michigan and Pennsylvania. I don't really buy that because this would be the first election in 14 elections where Pennsylvania and Michigan didn't move to the right with Florida. We also see states like Georgia now being more blue than Florida, so that's also very strange. It could be a natural occurrence as far as just a different shift in voters. I know Stacey Abrams and the Democrats registered a lot of new Democrats in Georgia, so that could be totally legitimate, but it's definitely strange. Something else that was really bizarre to me is that after President Trump had won Florida, the betting odds started to change throughout the night. And I saw that he was the favorite, as far as a betting favorite goes, in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan by about an 80% to 20% favorite. And he was a 90% betting favorite to win the presidency. Then within a few hours by Wednesday morning, all of that had flipped and Joe Biden had become a 90% favorite to win the presidency. Now that just seems very strange because the people who do these betting odds, they use a lot of data, and also the Chinese, their currency had started to crash once they realized President Trump was winning, and then by the morning it looked like Joe Biden was winning and their currency started to skyrocket. So that just seems odd to me. Again, I don't know for a fact if there was any fraud here or not, but I definitely think it's worth looking into. And if this needs to go all the way to the Supreme Court to show that this election was legitimate, then that needs to happen. Because like I said, I've seen all sorts of different things between dead people voting or counties switching votes. It happened in Michigan. There's stuff in Pennsylvania. It's really happening across the board, but it just depends on which scale it was. Obviously, if the fraud wouldn't have changed the election result, then we need to accept Joe Biden as the president. But as it stands right now, a lot of Republicans, I'd say the majority, do not accept these results, and there needs to be some legitimate closure because the media does not determine who the president is. I also have to say that I think it's insane that somebody like Joe Biden has been elected president if these results stand. Because Joe Biden had to drop out in 1988 because he was faking his life story. He used the life story of an Irish politician, I believe. He also said that he graduated with 3 degrees, which he really only graduated with 1 degree. Then he also said that he graduated in the top of his class in law school, and he graduated at the bottom of his class. And it was really an embarrassing moment for him where he had to leave the race because he was basically a compulsive liar. Then in 2008, he got destroyed when he ran again. And then this year, finally, he had only received like 7% of the vote in the New Hampshire primary, and he finished in 5th place. So to think that he would somehow become the nominee and become president after trying for decades and losing is really shocking to me. Now, assuming Biden does win the presidency, the Senate is going to be the most important check on him because without the Senate, the Democrats could pack the Supreme Court, and then we wouldn't have the court to save us from any unconstitutional laws that they might pass. And without the Senate, they can pass all of these crazy liberal ideas that they have. So this election is going to be really important in January, where there looks to be 2 runoffs in the state of Georgia. The last thing I'll say on this is that I do believe that we have only seen the first act for President Trump. I believe he will run again in 2024. He should probably be able to pick up the nomination easily. He's grown the party. He's increased black Republican support. We have Latino Republican support. So if President Trump runs again, I don't think he'll have a hard time going through the primary process and defeating any challengers. Now, I think the party will start to turn on him just like they did in 2016, but I think in the end he will prevail. And let's be honest, President Trump's not going away. He's still going to be President Trump. He's going to be on the news constantly. He will be a thorn in Joe Biden's side. I said this before. I made a video on this earlier in the year, basically saying that President Trump is going to continue to hold rallies. He'll probably be campaigning for the next 4 years. And can you imagine the Democrats when they realize that President Trump is going to secure the Republican nomination and they have to sweat it out, imagining if he's going to become the president again? And I really think he will. I also foresee a huge collapse of the economy coming soon, something similar to what we saw in 2008. We've been printing a lot of money with these stimulus bills, and there's just been a ton of spending throughout the years. So I think there will be another crisis, and it's going to make it very hard for the Democrats to retain control of the White House. Let's just hope that the Republicans retain control of the Senate, and I also think we'll regain the House in 2022, because the Republicans won a lot of these state legislatures where the Democrats were trying to flip them. So that means Republicans will have control over the redistricting process, and they'll be drawing the new lines in these congressional seats. And don't be surprised if the Senate conducts countless hearings and investigations into Joe Biden, and when the Republicans do regain the House in the midterms, that there will be an impeachment of Joe Biden. I think that he shouldn't expect anything less than how the Democrats treated President Trump. But again, this election isn't over. There's even the possibility that some of the states, when they go to vote in the Electoral College, that they could still vote for President Trump if they believe there was fraud, because ultimately they're the electors of the president. Now that could create a huge constitutional crisis, and let's hope that it doesn't have to come to that. But again, if there was fraud, we want to make sure that it's taken care of. For now, let's just hope that President Trump pulls this race out. But if he doesn't, you can be sure of one thing: President Trump is not going away, and we will see him again in 2024. Guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.